excited for all of the cast of Danada. I get that. Oh, there's our chair guy. Hang on, we're gonna get you a nicer chair. Thank you, Dan. I made the call and they were like, okay, we're coming, I guess. Let's do it. Let's come fight it. Through the mirror.
Are these on? Not all heroes wear capes. So great. Sunglasses on and I'm afraid I'll do shit.
Alright, guys, let's go ahead and introduce yourselves after we play yes. That way we can get our fans rolling.
Oh, hello. Hi, I'm AJ Beckles. I play Okru. I do his turbo form and his normal form. They both just sound like this, though. No, they don't. They watch the show. Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Yay!
Hi, I'm Abby Trott. I voice Little ISA. And also, yeah, Momo's Ghost Hands. I voice those too. They don't say anything, but it's me voicing them.
I'm Kari Wahlgren and I voice Granny's.
Hello, humans. I'm Diskin and I voice all of the problematic aliens.
Is that a banana?
I already got one, so you're all safe.
We'll start out basic. What got you into voice acting? Like, how did you get started, and what was like the casting process for it?
I'll start. Is that okay? So I was just obsessed with cartoons and comic books when I was a kid. So apparently, when I was 5 years old, I told my parents, one day I'm going to be the voice of a Disney princess. And they're like, oh, I don't know if that's a job, but so it was really on my radar from a very young age. And I went on to get a theater degree and just was recording my voice on tape since I was a kid and just mailing them to people and saying, one day I hope we get to work together. And for Danada, I actually auditioned for Turbo Granny. And they called up my agent and they're like, she didn't get the part, but we have another Granny that we think that she can play. And so I actually didn't even audition for Seiko. I just auditioned for Turbo Granny, and they're like, let's make her the other one instead. So.
I started when I was like after I think between my junior year of high school and my senior year of high school, I was like depressed, and I was like, well, I had given up on being a basketball player because I was only 5'7", I'm not going anymore. Yeah, I know, dude, such a bummer. And so I was like, oh, okay, we'll be an artist, and then I was like, I don't want to do this, and then and then my cousin was like, yo, it's like a voiceover, you want to try it? And then I did, and I was like, wait, I could be good at this. I kind of got obsessed with it. I thought it was so cool that like girls played like the most coolest boys that I grew up like Turner and Jimmy Neutron, and I thought it was so cool that like black people were doing stuff, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. So I kind of got obsessed, went down the rabbit hole, started auditioning online. During the pandemic, I went to college, and then I said, I don't want to do that anymore, so I stopped going to college. If you're a kid, don't do that. And then I was like, I think I want to give it to voice over, just try it. I got really lucky, and I got my agent, and they started setting me stuff, and then now I'm in LA, and luckily. Danada, I was looking forward to for a long time because we already read the manga, read a lot of manga, too much manga. Yeah. So, but I was like, oh my gosh, this art is incredible. It's such a fun everyone is an actor. You know what's funny? Is that's not Hanai plays him in the sub. I was like, who else is he playing? Conjuro. How would Zach Aguilar in this? So yeah, funny.
How did you pull that?
I don't know, but I tried my best. I don't think it's Zach.
Did it work?
I don't know. No, actually, it was my first take. The one, it was my thing. That's the one with they didn't like my Zach.
So they liked you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's so funny. I guess I'll talk. I was a theater major. I wanted to be an actor in some capacity, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then I moved to Japan for 6 years, and I was in Japan. No, I applied for the JET program, and I ended up teaching in northern Japan for 2 years, trying to soul-searching, and messing around, snowboarding, and doing whatever that wasn't acting. And then I really missed acting, and I decided I wanted to get back to that. And so I moved to Tokyo, and I spent 4 years in Tokyo doing whatever I could, gigging, auditioning for stuff. And my main jam was doing these kids shows that traveled around Japan, and they were to teach kids English. And there were some characters in those shows that needed voices. They were like puppet characters and also like big Kilubi characters. Is there a word for that in English? Like a costume, like a mascot character. So they were like those performing on stage, and they needed voiceover for that. So one of my first character auditions was voice matching some of those characters, and that kind of planted the seed for me that I was like, oh, this is a job, and I think I could be good at it, because I ended up booking those jobs, and I could match several voices. And I'm also a huge nerd, and I love video games and animation and anime, and I really just wanted to pursue voiceover once I realized it was a thing. And so I moved back to the United States to do that, and I started taking classes, and I entered a contest hosted by Bangs Entertainment, which is the studio that dubs Danada, and also Demon Slayer, and also a bunch of other stuff. And I ended up winning their contest, and that kind of helped speed things up for me, because it takes so much time and so much work to get ahead in this industry. I'm not gonna lie. It is, people are networking and just they're at it for years. And I had been acting, since the 6th grade, but it takes years to build up those relationships and that rapport. And I think this contest really helped me make some relationships faster than I would have otherwise. If I was just on my own, floating around LA trying to do the thing. So it was really, really helpful for me. It's not to say like we just win contests and do voiceover. I don't want to put that out there, but it was a really great opportunity that sped things up and really helps me a lot. And what was the second half of the question? I'm just rambling now. Yeah, so I didn't know what the show was, and then I got the audition, and I immediately fell in love with the show because the animation is so raw and cool, and Momo is also just. Shion Wakayama's performance struck me immediately as one of my favorite performances. I hadn't even seen the show yet. I was like, I just love what she's doing. She was embodying this Gyaru archetype right off the bat so perfectly. And also I had 2 scenes. I had the argument in the hallway when Ogurun and Momo are fighting about ghosts and aliens. The second scene was Momo's opening up to Ogurun, talking about her grandma and her history, and you can see like 2 really drastically different sides of Momo in that audition. And I loved the character, and I submitted, and I did not think I was gonna book Momo. I was just like, I think of several actors off the top of my head that I think would be perfect for this. And so when I did, I was surprised and so happy because I was looking forward to it so much, and I immediately started reading the manga too because I was like, I need to know more. Yeah,
it's men in the back doing that, and then they went, okay, well, we better start making money doing this. And so that's how I got into it. Both of my parents are actors, and they put me in the industry when I was a kid. Yeah.
Don't you have an Emmy then?
I do have an Emmy.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a cool show called Code Kids Next Door.
What was your first voiceover?
Oh, I was like 6. Like, it's a commercial or something.
I met Mallory Rhoda. She was doing all sorts of It was hilarious. I was like, that was you?
I got them for Danada. I only auditioned for Rhoda. And my audition was to, because like I was like, okay, well, he's the main character. He sounded annoying. He also has to be like earnestly. And all I had was an annoying. So I did it. I was like, oh, this sounds like ass. But I want them to know that I want to be in this show. So I submitted anyway. And then I got called in and they said, yeah, you put Danada. And I almost had a heart attack. Because I thought I'd looked over and I was like, oh my god, this is the worst casting choice people have ever made. And they're like, you could be the aliens. And I'm like, oh, thank god. Let's turn over to like AJ Beckles. I'm like, thank god, it's going to sound great. Oh, okay, good. You guys scared the hell out of me. But yeah,
They were
I
like-
just need somebody who can come in and do a bunch of weird stuff. Like, that's me.
They were like, we need someone who can sound like 800 different aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens just all just wow.
And they just keep having the Japanese guy. He doesn't think he has any voice. But he keeps showing up and like, yeah, we got another voice one. He's like, oh man, oh god. So I'm in there going, I'm with you, buddy. All right, we'll figure something out.
Were there any lines that you guys just busted out laughing and you kind of like just couldn't stop reading? Like what lines were
None of them are on.
Same.
Everyone is so funny in this show.
I know. Two things for me. One is AJ screaming every time. It makes me laugh so hard. It's hilarious. And usually, like, if I'm coming in after you, like, there's not screaming. Another one is a spoiler from Evil Eyes. I'm just going to say it's one of Turbo Go's lines. If you've seen Evil Eye, you probably know exactly which line I'm thinking of. I died.
Trying to gauge like if I have any cool kids in there. You're always talking like it's a shaft, but it's a little pencil. It's so funny. And yeah, like I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be, would you like the ball intel quote on your ethics sign off? It's like, we gotta talk to a guy about some ball intel. It's so great.
I honestly love her. She has like the funniest face.
I feel like there's a couple. So there's one when Momo and I think it's episode 4. Momo and oh wait, no, it was episode 2. I don't remember. Momo and Okaru are they're in Momo's room, and he's like, spilling his guts about how, like, kind of just explaining about what she means to him, and she's kind of telling him like, hey, like we're friends, it's like it's okay, blah blah blah. She goes over and like, I'm gonna say something, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like has a brief pause and goes, bitch. So funny. That one, and then Gigi, when he goes, but honestly, the entire scene, there's a scene with Tyra and Momo where they're like yelling at each other, but they're eating, so the words just pop up behind them, and like it's so funny. There's so many examples everyone can make.
Yeah, it's repeating it. It's what you guys are specifically it's the one with Tessie. Because the two of them are like huddled together in the water, and it's just this big apartment.
Oh, also Ben, when I first heard the aliens, I was dying. I was like, this is so funny. I was like, who is it? Is it Ben? I was like, that's all of them? So my brother was like, we should do the show. He's like, you have to check this out. He's like, you're an alien guy, you love it. So
was like, okay. So I put it on and I, like 5 minutes in, I was just staring blinking at the screen. I was like, this is the greatest show I've ever seen. Like, my wife was confused, staring. She's like, I don't know what you guys are doing. Like, the aliens killed me. I love it. But because of the supernatural alien aspect for any of you guys, do you take like, any of that kind of like, did you already have like prior inklings of where the story would go?
Well, I mean, we get asked a lot, do you believe in aliens or ghosts? We get that question a lot, so I can say I definitely believe in both, for sure. My big thing is that I always get so mad that the government basically came out and said, yes, aliens do exist, and things were so crazy that it was like page 4 news. Like, yes, we discovered them and we've got the thing. Like, did you guys see that in the news? Like, they admitted. And I was like, we just put this on page 4 and we all moved on? Aliens exist! How are we not, like, blowing our top? This is crazy. But, anyway, I believe in that.
Yeah, I definitely believe in aliens. There's gotta be something out there, like, you know, at least a little bit, something. But ghosts, I'm like, I want to believe in ghosts. I feel like there's something that we can't explain. Because, like, I've heard a lot of ghost stories, and I know that the people who've told me these stories are not just making stuff up. So they experience something weird and horrifying, and I want to know what it is. And if it's ghosts, I'm here, ghosts, talk to me. I just want to see you. I just want to have a little chat. Like, let's hang out. Something.
I believe in aliens. I didn't know anything about Kai before Danada. I had like, it's super. Their lore is super funny. It's just like old granny that runs really fast. It's like, oh, that's great. Yeah, it's amazing. So I actually kind of want to get more into it. But if I had to, I think I believe in aliens. Ghosts, I'm not sold on. But I was a huge like things lost in the universe and stuff like that. And then there was the aliens on the History Channel. He was always in aliens. And I was obsessed with space. So yeah, but ghosts not so much. I'm a big scaredy cat, so anything horror I will not entertain. But yeah.
I believe in ghosts, but to like a kind of way. Like I just believe in you guys. You can do it. That's kind of the ghosts.
So I know like voice acting includes you guys pretty much straight on script. Is there anything that you kind of like is there impromptu and you're like, let's roll with that instead? Because sometimes in the moment you kind of accidentally pull stuff out.
Yeah, I think we all like throw in our 2 cents every once in a while. Like, we have a really great director and script adapter, Alex David, who's got a really great sense of comedy. And every once in a while, if we have like a way of saying it that feels more naturally, or something that we think is funny that we want to try, he's totally open to it. So we'll try things, and sometimes they stay in the show. Other times he'll be like, that's not working, nice try. We're going back to my line. But yeah, I think we all throw in our little tidbits here and there.
It's harder with anime because you're doing translation, so you can't get too off point because you're trying to translate what was in the original Japanese. But Alex, yeah, amazing director, amazing script adapter, and he was very open to interpretation, like how we would do the lines. Because I know with a number of mine, like I would sound like really, really over it. And he's like, yeah, you can even push that even further. And yeah, care less. Yeah, care less. And like there'd be times where I'd be just like sighing and rolling like, and he's like, yes, just sigh it out. Yeah. So.
Was there any impromptu add-on that you did?
Oh yes. No. I fully improv scares me. I mean, I try to have fun, of course. I'm trying to like always find ways to how can I say this as Oprah that's not like typical bully that you can expect, you know? How can I make him not sound annoying but still sound really funny and dynamic? But as far as the lines are concerned, there's Nobutatsu with the manga, and then there's translators who turn that into an anime in Japan, and then they bring it over to us, and then we have it after. In this case, it's out on David. But I try not to step too much on that because I feel like a lot of people work really, really, really hard to get to that point. Like Abby said, like sometimes we'll try stuff, and I'll be like, "What do you think, Alex?" And they'll be like, "You know," like, "All right, yeah, okay, let's keep it going." But it really is a huge passion project, though. It is very collaborative, and we do get to talk to each other. It's great.
So I know you did it, we were talking about cheese. Yeah, so they're kind of different almost because you don't want to be too private, like, as opposed to, kind of like, throw some balls, now we have to find a ball.
Exactly. And that can be cool sometimes. Talking to you usually just vibes. But okay, next.
I didn't even expect that. I was like, oh, he's right.
Yeah, you know, it's great.
I guess one more, and then we'll have people line up. If you guys have any Q&A, go ahead and line up in the center here. Do you think Oprah will ever find this cold ball, this last one?
You're gonna have to watch and find out. We'll see. Oh boy, wouldn't that be the dream, finding that second one?
It would have been too easy if it was the first season.
True, exactly. What's it gonna take to get the second one? That's what I want to know.
I'm surprised you found the first one.
Right, yeah. Hopefully you can hold on to it.
Alrighty, guys, you want to start lining up? If not, I'm gonna start shooting the shots.
Any questions? Where are we lining up? In the middle here?
I can even come to you.
Line up right in the middle here, center stage. If you have any questions.
One.
It's okay.
We love you for that.
That's right. I feel like we need to be best students or something.
There you go.
I'm so cold.
Are you?
I'm freezing.
I'm sure it's strong.
I know that she already asked, like, if you guys, like, if there are, like, moments that you guys, like, if there are moments that you guys, like, laughed at, and, like, that was actually what I had as first draft, so it's all good, kind of expanding on that, is there, like, one specific line that you guys just asked me as you were laughing at it so hard, like, one specific line?
What is your line? So there's a scene where Momo's laughing for like 2 minutes straight. What did you say? What's the line that you said to that dude? It's about. It is about the I was like genuinely laughing. Like I was like, Kristen, you need to record this because that's freaking hilarious. I loved recording that whole scene. It was so funny.
I can't. I'll place this little teaser that mine happens in season 2. Mine happens in season 2, and we had to record it over and over and over again because I kept laughing during the line. So the only hint I will give you is Toro. So it's regarding Taro. The mannequin. So it's regarding him. So that's all I will say to you is that it's in season 2, it's regarding him, and we had to, and I kept apologizing because at a certain point, you know, we have to move on.
You're like, you're fine.
Yeah, and they were like, get it right, Wahlgren, or we're gonna, and I just kept laughing and I would take, so.
Thank you for kicking us off.
First off, thanks so much, you guys, for coming out here. You guys, all of your performances are just like it's something really special. So love you guys. What's the outcome season? What's the world sort of look like? You guys should be together. Or are you looking like
this show called Mono that I'm in. And it was really fun while it lasted, but it was just too much work to have two people recording. You have to make sure you have a clean take, meaning like if someone makes any noise in the room, it could mess up the other person who's recording right there. You know, it's just, there's a lot of factors. The engineers doing double duty. It's just hard. So I bitch, but we usually like the lucky person gets to record second, as in like if AJ's gone in first, he's laid the groundwork so that I can then respond to whatever he's put in. And it's my preference to like go in after other people are in because it makes my job easier to just respond to what's there. But yeah.
Because you'll hear it in your headphones. So if they record first and then I go in, I get to hear everything that they've recorded in my headphones. So it's almost like I get to play off of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did a live action, there was also a YouTube thing. It was a lot of fun for the actors. The audio quality might be terrible because you can hear like the rest of the other ones takes. In Japan, like what they normally do when they're doing anime is they have basically an animatic, so it's like a moving story. So they're not trying to hit the exact mouth that's so they can literally be in a room together and take turns coming up to the mic and delivering their lines. But if we try to do that, it's going to be out of sync and then we're going to have to start over. So it would take like 10 times as long. We would probably all like to.
That makes total sense. You guys have great chemistry, as usual. Fantastic.
Thanks. I actually hate him in real life.
I would never know.
Yeah. Technically, they were supposed to be sitting at opposite ends of the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Court order. Break my heart.
God bless you guys. Thank you.
Sorry. I'm a little awkward. So I was wondering, what did you, like, is there anything particular that you were inspired by to take in the
For me, man, I grew up watching Naruto, and Naruto is amazing. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. So Shikamaru's in there. And I was like, sure. So I was like, oh, okay, he already has that. And then there's Ichigo, which Johnny Flash plays, and Ichigo's just super cool to me. So I was like, we need to at least sound kind of close to Ichigo in terms of how cool he sounds. And then the rest of it is just the character and everything. Those two characters in particular kind of helped me find like where I wanted to go with the voice. The rest is just try to make sure the characterization is really good.
I definitely take a ton of inspiration from Shion Wakayama, the Japanese voice actress for Momo, because, as I said earlier, she really embodies the Gyaru archetype so well. And then to get more inspiration on that specific type of character, Alex Lamieven, our director, told me to go and watch some old 70s Gyaru movies. So I was watching like some Stray Cat Rock and like I forget what else I watched. Like there's like 4 of those movies. Yeah, he suggested that, and I think like that is my main inspiration. It's definitely Shion Wakayama. She's so perfect, and it's hard because we don't have that same archetype in Western culture. It's like it's like a tough girl, but it's specifically like in the 90s. I feel like it was very prolific, like this, like 70s to 90s maybe. I don't even know.
Ali Sheedy, The Breakfast Club. Was that it? Like, was that kind of the vibe?
That's a little bit of the vibe, I think. Yeah.
She was kind of tough, but she was
Yeah. Yeah, well, Momo's got
audition for where you were just going for it?
I'm just going for it. It's whatever weird thing I hear the Japanese guy doing. All right, I can figure that out. Sure, he's doing like a little high thing. Okay, cool, got it. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, I think for me it was partly taking inspiration from the original Japanese actress, and then just the artwork and the animation is so vivid in this show that the facial expressions are just like the vibe. There's such a vibe. So yeah, just kind of leaning into that for me was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
First of all, I grew up watching Kids Next Door since I was a little kid. That was one of my favorite shows because it's really watched. What was that transition like going from cartoon to anime after Kids Next Door came to it?
Yeah, as a kid, I grew up with the original Dragon Ball Z dub. As a kid, I was like, I want to be in that show. I can yell. And like, I didn't understand that they were in a completely different country, and there was a zero shot of him going back because he wanted to do anime. Desperately. And I got this very rare audition from an agency for a show called Blood Plus, which was based on Blood, the last vampire. And it said specifically on the sides, it's like, this doesn't pay very well, you can pass on it if you want to. And I went, oh, it's anime! I never get to do this. And so I auditioned for the sexy main character, which immediately went to his favorite as well. And then there was like the brother of the main character, and I was like, okay, I mean, he's like the brother to the vampire in an action show, so I'm sure he's gonna die. It's gonna be part of a tragic backstory or something, so I'll get to do it for a couple of episodes, see if I like it. And then he survived for all 50 episodes. And so my very first dubbing experience was like a 50-episode run of a show. I didn't have any accents. Got me with Studios, which is how I got into Naruto, Stitch, and a whole bunch of other things. And I just kept going up since. Well, I mean, they're both great actors.
Just because his blood is milk? That's all it takes. Yeah, that's hilarious.
He's so lovable. He's just so, yeah.
He's a good dad. Not nothing goes to me.
This turbo green count, because
Yeah.
Granny is amazing. But I would also have to pick the main show. Oh, that reminds me of that one line when Ogre, when he's like when they're discussing like saving his son, and he's like, if I let you have my ball, do you have enough money to save your son? So funny. I think it's but Turbo Granny, oh my gosh, Barbara Benson is a gem and is amazing at what she does.
I mean, it is turbo, but I mean, that's already exists, so I'm going to say the sumo guy, where he fights the,
Flatwoods.
yeah, that's the one, yeah.
So, questions coming from my I'm wondering, do you guys like any scout guys at this point?
Shiki, Komono Jihan. It just came out at the same time Jujutsu Kaisen did, so nobody watched it. But Shiki was like actually like my first session in anime. I was like going to pass out in the booth. I was so nervous, and that's kind of like how I learned how to do it. There we go.
Okay, so Bug Snacks is a game where there's like all of these food creatures that say their own names like Pokemon do. And so all the people who voice for the Bug Snacks, there's like a million of them in the game. So we all voice multiple Bug Snacks. I voiced like 5 or 6 of them. And one of my favorites was Ribblebee. Ribblebee was a living rack of ribs that lived in a cave and crawled around on the ceiling and was afraid of people. And Ribblebee sounds like this. And I love Ribblebee with all my heart.
For me, when people are like, oh, what's the one anime that you wish people saw a little bit more? Last Exile. And if you're into the steampunk aesthetic, it's kind of this dystopian steampunk anime. And these 3 little kids kind of find each other and form this family and are trying to navigate the world that they're in. And I played this little kind of scrappy gal named Lobby, and yeah, and it's one of the few shows where, like, when you go into the studio, they'll save 1 or 2 lines for your voice reference so that you can remember what your character sounds like, and that one still to this day is like, you can screw your stupid chivalry, screw it! That's lives in my mind. Rent free.
There's a video game called Drakengard 3.
Drakengard!
The way it works is you play as like a different main character, and you control an army, and the army is always voiced by the same voice actors, no matter which character you pick. And so, like the one who control clans, will all have clan songs for you, it's that kind of thing. And they brought me in. The character doesn't have a name. His name is just solely Jake, the script. And I play the one dude in the army who is absolutely constantly shitting himself. So everybody else is like Patrick Seitz with his big, booming, strong guy voice, Kyle Abater with his big, booming, strong guy voice, and there's me in the background going, "Oh my God, is that a dragon? Run away!" I love doing that. Just playing completely against everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, so Danada was into different cryptids too, like the Blackness monster. And you guys have any interesting cryptids that you see?
Oh, do any of us have a favorite cryptid, right? And or we do have an interest in cryptids? Yes. Personally, I don't know much about cryptids. I think they're really cool, but I know Bigfoot exists, and I've said at many a panel now. I want to see Bigfoot in Danada, but I want it to be a giant hairy foot. I don't want it to be a giant hairy foot. I'd have to run away from it. That would be fantastic.
I am interested in cryptids. I want to see a Wendigo in Danada. I feel like it would be so creepy. It could be so disturbing. It would be like,
Chupacabra for me. Yeah. Those goats haven't touched me.
I mean, and again, like we've talked about this, and I don't know exactly what it would be, but I'm fascinated with mirrors in horror. So any sort of creature like Bloody Mary or something that comes through the mirrors and reflections. I just want something.
voice the chupacabra, voice the Bloody Mary.
I mean, but
No mouths.
I'm here to kick ass!
oh yay, my man.
Shout out to Mothman. It's real.
Hello. If you could isekai your character from Danada into or characters into another anime, what would it be?
Do they keep their powers?
Keep
something subversive in me that thinks that Seiko in the Sailor Moon universe would be freaking hilarious. Like, shut make her skirt a little bit longer and come back earlier. Or I don't know, like,
Seiko's magical girl transformation.
I got your magical jewel right here. Yeah, there's just something about that makes me laugh.
You would put your disgusting aliens.
I know. I feel like they would make everybody very uncomfortable. Pretty much every single show.
Alien versus Predator.
Yeah. Then they'd learn what it's like to be on the receiving end of something like
Do you want to join me in Sailor Moon?
that. Would be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I would like that. Sailor Jupiter.
I think
Spin around, flipping everybody off.
I think it would make Tokyo Revengers because I feel like both Ruben and Takamichi are kind of similar. So I feel like if they were to meet in school, they'd be good friends.
Thank you, everybody. It looks like that'll be the time that we have for today. Just give a round of applause to